So today I'm just going to be teaching the very beginning of handstand. So it's actually not handstand. We're going to do L pose today. So you start by measuring the distance and you put your leg on the wall. And that's where you're going to put your feet. And this is where you're going to put your hands, where your foot is. So you keep that distance. Put your hands on the floor. I usually like to give myself a little more space just at first. And then press your hands into the floor. And before you press your hands into the floor, I want you to really understand that this is the most important part of the pose. Making sure that your hands are gripping the floor like your feet do. So you're holding a basketball in essence. I see a lot of people with very lazy hands, and then you're dumping all of the weight into your wrist. Your wrist has no muscles. Your hands and your forearm do. So you really need to work your hands on the floor. Be strong in your hand. Firm. Grasp the floor with your hand as though you're holding a basketball. With that strength on the floor, lift your legs, press your legs back so that you're in a downward facing dog type of a pose. And then you're just going to press your feet into the wall to be standing against the wall. Walk your legs up the wall until they're where your hips are. This is L pose. Play with it here, feeling your shoulder blades on your back. If you need to come down after a second, come down after a second. Then do it again. Build your strength slowly. This is a new orientation of being upside down. Get acquainted with it. Get used to being upside down. You can do this again. And walk yourself up. I do have to wash my wall regularly. And press your shoulder blades onto your back, feeling your arms strong and making sure you're not hyperextending your arms. This is something that people do not discuss, and I had a very big issue with it. So you always just want to stay strong in your arms. You want to be engaged. You can't not be engaged, basically, in that pose without extremely dumping. So it's a really good practice because you're engaged when you're in down handstand. So that's basic general handstand practice. So do that until you're comfortable. That's the first phase. Okay, the next stage would be kicking up at the wall. So you put your hands about 5 inches away from the wall, maybe 4 or 3 inches, not that, pretty close, but not too far away. And then you get into a downward facing dog. And then you kick up with one leg in the air. This might take a couple times. It's okay, get used to it. At first, you probably will have to kick up a whole bunch to figure out where you're going and what you're doing. And again, you're getting oriented upside down. Just feel what it feels like to be upside down for a moment. Breathing here. And then you can slowly and gently come down one leg at a time. Let me know how that goes.